The village of Nooranpur was unlike any other. It lay between two ancient forests, the Forest of Light and the Abyss of Shadows. The villagers knew the stories, the legends of the eternal war between the Jinn of Light and the Jinn of Darkness. But legends were only stories, weren't they? That's what they believed. Until one fateful night, it was the night of the blood moon. The sky was painted in a deep crimson, and the air was thick with an unnatural silence. The villagers sensed something was wrong. Even the animals were restless. Dogs whimpered, cows refused to leave their sheds, and the birds, there were no birds. They had fled before nightfall. Rahman, the village elder, stood at the mosque's entrance, his hands gripping the wooden staff tightly. He had lived long enough to witness many strange occurrences, but this night, this was different. Then, it began. A piercing scream echoed from the forest. Not a human scream, something else, something otherworldly. The villagers gathered near the mosque, their faces pale with fear. Shadows twisted and slithered from the abyss of shadows, moving like living smoke, consuming the moonlight. And then, they came, figures, tall and faceless, with eyes that burned like molten fire, emerged from the darkness. Their bodies were covered in black mist, shifting and writhing. They floated above the ground, whispering in a language older than time itself. They have returned. Rahman whispered, his voice trembling. As the villagers huddled together, a golden light erupted from the opposite forest, the Forest of Light. A figure cloaked in radiant white robes stepped forward, holding a staff that shimmered with celestial energy. His eyes glowed with a piercing blue, and his voice carried the power of the heavens. Begone, creatures of darkness. You have no dominion here. It was Azfar, the guardian of the Light Jinn. He had protected the balance for centuries, ensuring that the darkness never overtook the world of men. The Dark Jinn laughed, a sound so cold it sent shivers down the spines of all who heard it. The tallest of them, Zafarash, stepped forward, his skeletal fingers crackling with dark energy. This village belongs to us now, Azfar. The balance is broken. With a flick of his wrist, black tendrils shot out, aimed straight at Azfar. The guardian raised his staff, and a wave of golden energy erupted, blocking the attack. The ground trembled as the forces of light and darkness clashed, the sky turned into a battlefield. The golden light of Azfar and his brethren clashed against the shadowy horrors of Zafarash. Bolts of fire, energy, and pure darkness tore through the air, shaking the very fabric of reality. The villagers screamed as the battle unfolded above them. The mosque's minaret cracked, houses trembled, and the very air smelled of fire and brimstone. A young boy, Haris, was watching from the window of his house when suddenly, a shadow reached for him. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. Just as the darkness was about to consume him, a silver shield appeared around him. Azfar's protection. Azfar, now weakened from fighting multiple Dark Jinn, was slowly being overpowered. Zafarash grinned, his hollow eyes flickering with malevolence. You cannot stop the inevitable, Azfar. Darkness will rule with a final roar. Zafarash unleashed a wave of pure black fire, striking Azfar directly. The guardian staggered, falling to one knee. The light around him flickered, dimming. The villagers gasped. If Azfar fell, they were doomed. Rahman, with all his strength, lifted his trembling hands to the sky and began to recite powerful verses from the holy book. His voice, though old and weak, echoed with faith. Suddenly, the golden light flared brighter than ever before. Azfar's wounds began to heal, and his power surged. He raised his staff one last time, summoning a divine storm. A colossal pillar of white fire erupted from the heavens, engulfing Zafarash and his minions. They screamed in agony, their bodies disintegrating into dust. The night sky, once blood-red, turned clear, and the air became light once more. The battle was over. The Dark Jinn were vanquished. Azfar turned to the villagers, his glowing eyes now gentle. The darkness will always seek to return, but as long as faith remains strong, it shall never prevail. With that, he vanished into the Forest of Light, leaving behind only a faint golden glow. The villagers rebuilt their homes, but they never forgot. Every year, on the night of the blood moon, they would gather at the mosque, recite prayers, and light lanterns, to remind the darkness that they were not afraid. But deep within the abyss of shadows, where no light ever reached, something stirred once more, watching, waiting.